J, counselor. Dr. 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 J, counselor. You matter. You matter. You matter. You matter.
Good evening, Faith family. This is your boy, Dr. J, KJLHradio.com. Listen, man, I'm so excited to be here with you today. We're presenting Do I Want to Stay Married? And it is already starting to be a blessed and an amazing year. I'm so excited to be rocking with my girl, Lady J, that Let's Be Clear Queen. How you doing, Lady J?
I am doing amazing. Let's be clear, Dr. J. It is absolutely going to be a hot show, like always. But I have had such an amazing response from the women about this topic. So I'm blessed to be here with you and the rest of the crew.
Well, it's going to be a hot show, guys. Listen, man, right now, make sure you know we live stream it, but also you can find our podcast on KJLHradio.com, owned by the great, legendary Stevie Wonder, man. Go out there, check out all of our shows, hot topics by popular demand. You know our show and how we do it. We are uncensored, we are spiritual, but we're relevant, and we do these shows because of you. We are involved with you in the show on our social media, and we talk about the topics that you suggest and that you desire to hear, and we get all the way into it in an uncensored way. So, you know, we talk about that pink elephant in the room. You get live events and things that has happened in my counseling sessions. You get it from the spiritual perspective. You get it from the ladies. I mean, you get it from the streets. You get it all kind of ways. Oh, Lord, that sounds like KD.
Please
Jesus.
don't.
Help us, Lord. Somebody help me, Lord. But I'm so very excited, man. So come on in, like, share, make sure. Go out into all of our platforms, man. We got great things that are popping off and happening. But today, we're talking about, listen, I knew you was cheating. We're talking about cheaters, y'all. Listen, man, I don't care where you are or globally. Somebody right now just cheated, okay? They're cheating. Why is infidelity or broken promises happening all around the world? And one of the things that it's not that this topic is not talked about, Lady J, but the reality of it is that much of the investment of why and how and all these dynamics of the answers that people need are not invested into and given accuracy. So today's topic is going to be a hot one because guess what? We're going to dig all the way in. So make sure, share your comments, man. We're going to bring them out, share your questions. We're going to make sure that you understand literally what's going on in the world, what are people doing, what is happening, but also what God has to say. What is the statistics, man? What is the truth and the reality, and what's the transparent truth of what's really going on in relationships? Be that you're married or you're just in a relationship. Listen, there's no bias to it. Infidelity is happening. Broken promises are happening, and trauma is happening all around the world to families and to people's lives. They're living with this hurt and pain. So today it's going to be a hot topic. I also want to make sure that you understand, man, as always, we got an amazing celebrity black book guest today, the one and only, the legendary Kenny Lattimore is going to be here with us today, y'all. So make sure you tune in, lady. It's going to be a hot one. Listen, if you've had a wedding, surely you have absolutely bumped some Kenny Lattimore. You know what I'm saying to you? And if you ain't do it during the wedding, you definitely did it during the honeymoon. So guess what? Tune in. He's doing great things. We want to be talking to him. We're going to be laying out some questions to him, and you're going to get to hear firsthand what he got going on and what's been going on for a long time now that he's been just doing great things. So it's going to be hot. Well, guess what? I don't roll by myself. Neither do me and my lady. I got the one and only, man. Ask the bishop, man. Listen, what God has to say. Listen, man, I got the guru on the line, of course, man. I think he has a real direct call and ear to God. Bishop Dunny Williams, what's going on,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want to say the topic is great, dealing with cheating.
Listen, not only is she with the ladies, but she rolled with the tribe. Our sophisticated Sheila. Sheila, what's going on, darling?
Listen, I tell you, this is going to be a hot topic today. The tribe vibe, they have weighed in. I've been talking, and we got a lot of things that, well, they told me not to give away the store. They don't want me to give away all the secrets of how we know the cheating is going on. But let's just say we got some children trying to adult, and we're not having it. So we got a lot to talk about.
But Sheila, I promise you today, girl, when I bring you outside of this interrogation, we gonna get that truth. Because listen, men's gotta know, we gotta do better. And then ladies, y'all wanna know our little juice too. Because let me tell you something. One of the things that I found, Lady Bishop and my girl, man, listen. The statistic is now listen at this, okay, because the tables kind of turned a little bit. You know, back in the day, it was all men. And yes, women can cheat. However, a recent study just came out for the 2020 year that just passed, is that there has been an absolutely increase when it comes to infidelity or those who are not married, broken promises in a relationship on the women's side. The question is this that the scientists and the counselors are saying, though. The reality of it is that did the men go down? The reality is no. It's just simple fact that men get caught more than women do. So the question is, has the statistic always been higher, or is the cat just out the bag? Because you know what? Women always been cheating. Maybe always been just been doing it a little bit better than men. So when we're talking about I knew you was cheating, guys, listen, out for the fellas, you know what I'm saying? We gonna come at y'all women, but women, I know, man, don't do us too bad, all right? So this is calm down, and we're gonna have just an equal opportunity conversation. We're gonna chime into social media, so all our followers coming in. And then quite naturally, man, we got KD. I can't leave my man. He all the way out them streets, y'all, in the ATL. What it do, man?
This is your boy KD, the voice, man, bringing it to y'all kind of ways. Dog, man, you got a hot one here, lady. I know you're gonna do something to us, but let's get it.
You know what? One of the things that I absolutely unequivocally appreciate about our platform is the truth. And hear me clearly, I said this earlier today on the pre-show. With everything that we have going on in the world today, I think that at this juncture, everybody wants the truth. Everything's been uncovered. Everything's exposed. And so we have to deal with it, and we're going to deal with it right here.
Well, listen, man, to all our followers on social media, come on in the room, man. And to all of you guys who tune into the show, not only on social media, but if you're first time watching us, make sure you go out to kjlhradio.com. You can see us live and in color, man. All of our shows are just hot topics. We deal with real life issues. Today, it's a hot topic, man, but it's also a sensitive one because it's affecting families and friends and someone close to you every day. It's in the church, it's in the White House, it's down the street, it's in the block, it's even in the history with grandma and them. Everybody cheating. I mean, there's all kind of infidelity and broken promises have happened. And so what we're going to dig in today is that, man, I knew you was cheating. And so, you know, the reality of it is, I want to give you some statistics that just rolled out from our general studies as counselors, psychologists, and psychiatrists all around the world. They say that 20%, now listen to this, 20% of married couples have experienced some form of infidelity, right? Watch this now. Now, Bishop, you're going to love this right here because you're going to say that's why they but need to come on into church. Now, that is high, 20%. But they say for unmarried couples, unmarried now, 70% have dealt with unbroken promises, dealing with somebody cheating in the relationship. Y'all, that single life hard out there. You hear what I'm saying to you? Listen, man, check yourself. Listen, man, don't laugh, don't cry. Don't feel like we picking on you. The reality of it is, the objective of the show is to really find your truth, find yourself somewhere in the show, and be real about it, man, and get the help and the source you need, but own it. And if you're gonna do it, at least know I'm just rolling like that, what have you. But for some of us, man, we really are trying to own it, be transparent about it, and really trying to help and better ourselves and better others around us. So guess what? Without further ado, we're going to go to them streets. That's how we do. We're going to go ahead and send it out and see what the people are saying. So when we come back, we're going to hear from KD and Sheila what them streets saying, y'all. We'll be right back.
From the barbershop to the courthouse to in your house.
The voice is giving you the real scoop straight from the street.
I love God, but God is still working on me.
He says he's keeping it 100.
You be the judge.
Here's your boy, KD, representing the people's voice.
Faith family, listen, man, it's time. It's the voice, KD, the sophisticated Sheila. Y'all, what the street said, man, I knew you was cheating.
Dog, what's going on, man? As y'all know, this is your boy KD the Voice. You know, the one that bring it to you all kind of ways from the streets. Now, this ain't nothing I said. This is something I got from the streets. Now, the question was, I had to ask, you know, if your man was cheating, well, this one young dude said his old girl thought he was cheating. And I'm like, well, why you say she thought you was cheating? Well, how she knew you was cheating? Well, she didn't know. Well, what was the question? What did she do? He was like, well, this is my thing, bro. She was asking me, I know I wasn't doing anything, but she's always asking me what I'm doing, why I'm going here, why I'm going there. When she's always gone and she's always MIA, but she's asking me. So I think she's cheating because she's always asking me what I'm doing when I know I ain't doing nothing. And this is true fact. I'm not doing anything, bro. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Come home, I work 24, blah, blah, blah. But she's always attacking me. And then he said also, we always getting into these petty arguments over like nothing. I come home from a long day, chilling. Oh, why you left this on the stove? And blah, blah, blah. Just start attacking me. So I think she's cheating. That's how I know she's cheating, but I ain't caught her yet. But if I do, that's all he said. So, Sheila, holla at me.
Listen, Katie, I hear deflect. Okay, I'm sorry. Anytime your lady is asking or any women are asking, it's because we already know. We just want you to confirm what we already know. But you all do a really good job at starting to deflect. You deflect because in reality, you are actually looking in a mirror saying, I hope she doesn't see me sweating. Hope she doesn't ask me. Listen, we already know the secrets, the critical of everything, the arguments for no reason. The tribe understands how that works. So when we ask, it's not because we want to just know, and it's not for you to turn it back on us and say, you're doing something. No. We just want to confirm what we already know.
Answer the question, guys. Who is cheating more, Lady J?
Okay, I absolutely, and hear me, I'm not saying this because I am a woman, but there is no questions in my good mind that men cheat more than women do.
Question, does men or women cheat more? In the Old Testament, men did all of the cheating. Women did not cheat. They was afraid to because of death. It would be a death sentence for a woman to have an affair with another man. In fact, she didn't look at men eye to eye back in because as James Brown said, it was a man's world. But what happened is the men brought the woman to Jesus and said, we found her in the act of adultery. He didn't say we found him and her. He didn't say they said we found her in the act, like she had sex by herself. Now, so men got away with it because it was a man's world. Today, women are just as guilty as men are today in adultery and fornication. So I just want to make that clear. The statistics, I heard the statistic, and I do believe in statistics. But I'm saying to you that women are not hidden anymore with theirs. They'll go out and get what they want and send the man home.
Come on, Bishop, you on fire today. Baby, that poor player is burning. You hear what I'm saying?
Touchdown.
Bishop, if I could send an emoji, baby, that emoji will have fire all around it, like stars flaming. You know what I'm saying? Like the 4th of July. Hey, sophisticated Sheila, what that tribe is saying now? Is them girls treating in the tribe? They'll tell them don't be lying, because I'm looking at them on Facebook. Don't be lying.
You know what? Listen, Doc, and Bishop, you brought it on home. You did. Listen, ladies, we have a different way. As Lady J said, we are nurturers. Now, I'm not going to say that our eyes don't wander. I'm not going to say that we, have certain thoughts, but we bring those thoughts before they cross over that finish line for the most part. Now, listen, there are women that are good at cheating, and I would say the women that are good at it, they typically don't get caught. Men, I'm sorry, you just sloppy about it. I don't know what it is. You just sloppy. You just leave all sorts of breadcrumbs. You just lead us right down the rabbit hole. I mean, you really make it kind of easy. But with women, you have to understand, it's all in our mind. So we could have a complete romantic affair with someone and never do anything about it. And before we do anything about it, we bring it into subjection.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with the statistics because I do feel the men do cheat more than the women, only because women are emotional human beings. So therefore, like Sheila said and all that, you're emotional. So you mainly get attached up more quicker. So I think y'all are more, you're more laid back than the cheating part because you don't want to get yourself crossed up in nothing. But y'all are slick, and I think y'all numbers are higher than ours on. We just can't prove it. That's all. That's the streets and KD.
But also, what I want to add to it in a more in a worldly fashion, it's the simple fact that the dynamics of the women have changed. And what I mean by that is their pedigree. Women are now what's called, the young people call, they're becoming bosses. You know what I'm saying? They now have better education than the men. They have better jobs. They're making their money, which means now they have more options. A lot of people stayed in things or allowed things because of their position of power or position in the relationship. Now we almost on equal ground, or most of the time, women are actually better breadwinners than the men, which means that you can't tell that woman anything. She do what she want to do because she can. Now that she has that power, that little nurturer done changed. She ain't just nurturing, she's a boss. And a boss can now shop. She can look, she can examine. And I don't want to assume that everybody's married. People are in relationships. And when you are in a relationship, I call it, sometimes people are vetting. They're examining the situation. They're looking at the field. Now this woman can look from a different lens, which means that the numbers are moving because the women have absolutely progressed. I'm not saying that women are cheating more than men. I'm just saying that the tables have absolutely turned. I'm just saying. It's time for the Let's Be Clear Queen. So when we come back, you're going to hear from the one and only Lady J. We'll be right back.
Let's be clear with Lady J. Lady J. Lady J. Ladies, it's our Let's Be Clear moment. You are amazing. Amazing. You are powerful. Powerful. Let's be clear. You are a daughter of the Most High God. It's your girl, Lady J.
Look here, this is your girl, Lady J, and it is time for my Let's Be Clear moment. Listen here, I want you to think about something. Cheating is nearly defined as a simple desire, sexual desire. That's what cheating is originated from, a sexual desire. We had the opportunity to host and interview our girl Shirley Murdoch a couple weeks ago, and she had the song called As We Lay. And what I want to put out there for everybody to think about today is, I don't want to deal with the statistics, but I know this. You better count up the cost before you lay. Women, count the cost. Men, count the cost. What is the booty really worth your kids' future? See, we always want to have all this other conversation, and trust me, I've had some cheerleaders that want this sexy chocolate brother that I have. But I'm gonna be real with you, and people say, you know what? Because this competition thing be going on, but we don't think about the impact of cheating. That's what I want to deal with. So look at what you're doing with a bigger lens and a bigger picture. Count the cost of. Do you really want to be a homewrecker? Do you really want to cheat with somebody and men land on you, and then you want to get married and then he don't want to talk to you no more? See, that's all counting the cost up. So all I got to say to men and women, before you open your legs, before you take your clothes off, before you set it all up, before you light the candles, before you get the perfume on, count the cost up.
Listen, man, social media is blowing up. It's hot. But let me tell you why this woman going crazy. And I do got to give you kudos on this, ladies, and I want to throw this out here for the women, man. Listen, every Friday, make sure you go to Lady J's platform. She's doing Never Too Busy to Pray. I think these women be catching most of these men because they got some heightened discernment. They be praying all the time. God be telling them everything. But you got a hot show that's going on, lady. That was hot. Thank you for having me on last week.
Thank you for producing Never Too Busy to Pray. Every Friday, 12 o'clock. You ain't never too busy to give your time to God.
Now, listen, on social media, I want to bring some people out. Pastor Dixon says, hey, listen, A home wrecker don't care. You know what I mean? Kim say, Katie, you gonna love this one. Man, y'all just messy. You just messy. You're just messy. And I got a whole bunch of amens. You're just sloppy. And then the tribe girl, they just loving you over there, Sheila. You know what I'm saying? And Bishop, you got some prayer hands going on. All these prayer warriors. You know what I'm saying?
They praying for the families to stay together.
So let me ask y'all this right here. What do y'all believe? Now, this is a real conversation now, because lady just brought it up, or what have you. What's the reasoning behind all this broken promises and infidelity? You know what I mean? Let's first, Katie, with you out there on the streets, whether guys or women, why is people so unfaithful, man? I mean, be that in the church or not, why are they so unfaithful?
I think it's because it's easy. I mean, it's easy. And sometimes they're just getting tired of the same old and want some strange. That's the bottom line. Just want something strange. I'm just telling you like it is.
You know what? And there's strange AIDS, and there's strange herpes, so what strange exactly are you looking for?
Now listen, lady. Now I do agree with you on your let's be clear. You hit it. You on point. I agree with you absolutely. I mean, you break up the homes and things of that nature. Men, especially men, don't think about all that. They're not thinking about what the repercussions are going to be. They're not thinking about if they happen to get somebody pregnant, how that's going to happen, how you're going to deal with that. They're not thinking about bringing AIDS or disease back home and impacting your family and all that. They're not thinking about none of that. So I definitely agree with you on that.
I think that people are just unequally yoked. And that's a lot of reason why the cheating goes on. You know, a lot of times, men or women, you reach for the stars, you see this thing that you think that you want to ascertain to be, but you bring a bunch of rocks in your bag. You don't have anything to give, but you're reaching for the stars, but you have absolutely nothing. You want to take and take and take. And I think in a relationship, when you start thinking about cheating, it's because you're still trying to take. So you're not in a relationship. You are just in it for what you can take. You're in it for the taking. When you are in a relationship and adulting, you are looking at how you can give. Okay, that's not strange. That's called adulting. That you can get kinky and strange in a one-on-one relationship. You don't have to go outside of your relationship to do that. But anytime you're unequally yoked and you're not coming in compatible with your partner, then there is an opportunity for your eye to stray.
Well, it's not simple, but it's understandable. That preacher, non-preacher, doesn't matter. In the church, out of the church, it doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong. It's like my son came to me and he was 12 years old. And my son at 12 years old had this girlfriend, and he came to me and said, Dad, why can't I have sex with her? You have sex with mama. Why can't I have sex with her? Wow. And I said to him, you can. Just do what I did. Get married.
Wow.
You get married, then you can go on and do that. Because why? That way, if you're married, you're a grown man, you're on your own. You're not under my care. But if you're in my care, no, that is not the way it goes. Now, back to the most important part of the conversation to me is this. When we have fleshly issues, is because what Paul said. Paul said, in my flesh dwell no good thing. So our flesh going to desire. I'm a bishop, and I'm not blind. I know a beautiful woman when I see one. I know when a woman is beautiful, when she's not beautiful, because I'm in the flesh, in the body. But my spirit controls my flesh. And I don't allow my flesh to overpower my spirit. So yes, when a person is cheating is because the other person allows it. If you don't allow me to cheat in the flesh, I won't.
Wow.
Because if you allow me to, I will. If God allowed me to have 5 women, I will have 6. But if you say have 1, I'm going to have 1.
Look, I'm so glad God did not allow for you to have 10, okay? Look here.
Call me if you need someone to talk to. Call me. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call me. We want to know what's going on with you. What's the scoop? taking it all across the world. We're going into Dr. J's Black Book. It's that time. Dr. J, the counselor, with his featured guest from his Black Book.
Guys, I have just such an amazing treat that I want to give you today on this show here on KJLHradio.com podcast. Do I Want to Stay Married? He is, his career has expanded over 2 decades. He's highlighted, of course, with the 1996 breakthrough single, Never Too Busy. But one of the wedding staples, guys, hear me clearly. If you rocked in a wedding, you've played this man music. You hear what I'm saying? One of his greatest songs, the For You. Grammy award-winning nominations, Soul Train Award nominations, top 10 singles, top 20 R&B albums, NAACP Image Award for the new Best Artist. Listen, man, while staying true, this man has prevailed. He's a true artist. He is a great, and I'm so glad that he's here with us today because I absolutely not only rock the man, but listen, I endorse him all the way because he's a true artist. This stuff that sometimes come out today, I don't know what to say, but this one right here has been rocking for a minute and still putting it down. The one and only Kenny Lattimore. What's going on, guys?
What's happening? How are you doing? Thank you for having me today. This is really fantastic to join. This is the family to me.
Absolutely.
All of our KJLH folks, you bringing your knowledge to our community. It is an honor.
Man, bless you, Kenny. Kenny, you know, I'm so inspired by you and many. I got so many emails with you coming on the show that has so many questions. So I'm going to try to condense them down, man. But one of the things is, you are a humanitarian. There's so many great things that you stand for, that you do. But you have used your platform. You have used yourself as a person to present yourself, to be an encouragement to people. What's behind all of that? What drove you to be that type of individual and to be that type of artist?
One, I'd have to go back to childhood and my parents. My parents and pastors, people like yourself who surrounded me as I grew up and shaped me. The village charged me with something before I ever had the platform that I have. In my growth, my pastor and my mother said, when you go out, Kenny, whatever you do, lift up a standard. I came up in the era where there was issues between gospel, and because I came from gospel music and I was seeing classical and a lot of different genres of music, but the gospel message was so important and so relative, positive, and essential to me and my growth, my faith carrying me when I knew the world wouldn't. I don't care how many records I would sell or how much, quote, success I would have. At the end of the day, we dream dreams. And my mother used to tell me this all the time. We dream dreams, but to whom much is given, much is required of him. So I used to say, oh my God, what does that really mean to me? It meant that whole thing that they were telling me about lifting up a standard. I needed to use my platform. It was bigger than just me. But if I wanted to truly affect people in a positive way or affect my community, eventually have my own children that I affected, make my grandparents proud, all of that legacy, it was going to be about thinking about what I had to say and what I had to give, and just making sure that it was beyond the stuff that I could gain.
Yes, absolutely.
Because a lot of people used to be, oh yeah, you're doing this because of money and money. And it was like, no, that never was it. I really was charged by my parents and again, my pastors and village very early in my life to lift up that standard.
And that's one of the things I want to piggyback on is because to be who you are, Kenny, and to do such greatness, one of the questions that came across, and I want us to ask, even though I think you did time into it, but I still want to ask it on behalf of your fan, is who inspired you ultimately to ultimately what you're saying? Who really touched your life that made that change and that impact in your life in that way?
Well, sure. I can go beyond that to say, as an artist, there's an artist named Denise Williams.
Yes.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Denise Williams was very proud of her background, even though she had her record deal with Columbia Records. It was huge. She never left her gospel roots. She never abandoned her desire to educate. So I remember being a student at Howard University, and she came by the fine arts department to do a master class, if you will. And she would bring other prominent artists who excelled not only in recording, but in commercials, in producing, in engineering and things, so that we as students knew that being the star was not the only thing we could do. I think that's what happens to a lot of Black kids coming up, is we think that we have to be out in front of the camera and be the star all the time. That puts a different type of pressure on us. But she was teaching us that there were other avenues and other things that we could do to fulfill the passion that we had. But at the same time, she was one of the few that I saw lift up a standard. And she was always talking about God, and she was talking about her faith and her background. But at the same time, she was talking about love. And I was like, I think I can do that. But there's so many. Stevie Wonder, who obviously, that's my big brother, really used his platform for politics as well, to talk about love and relationships and be transparent. We've had ups and downs, and people have come in and out of things, but having other artists, I just want to mention the two of them, and Denise happened to sing for Stevie. That's interesting. But anyway, to have those type of artists in front of me, I did not know them at the time at all. I know them now, but it was like a dream to just aspiring to be as they were and have a career like them.
That's
but I
amazing.
love the fact that they laid it out there for me.
That's amazing. Kenny, I want to say this to you because, Shirley Murdoch was with us a couple of weeks
Shirley
ago.
Murdoch, yes.
But she said something, and I'm listening. It's almost like if you go back and listen to her interview, you guys literally are having some of the same dialogue, because sometimes when you come from gospel and you get ready to cross over to R&B, there's this stigma that almost says that you got to leave one to do the other. And what I hear you saying is that's not true. Tell me, how did you land and really decide, I love God, but I have a gift that I can use for the world at large?
I think God gave me something personally. He said, Kenny, if you can say this out of your mouth, you can sing it. Wow. I didn't believe that I could go around saying certain things to any and everybody, but I couldn't sing it. It was the same thing to me. It was all communication. And if I could use my platform to communicate something amazing and positive, there was nothing that contradicted that to me. But that was me again. That was something personal to me. And then there was no scripture really to support this. I think it was a lot of people were giving their opinions based on some additional research that they were claiming, but there was no scripture to back that up.
Right.
So even as a young person, I was very sensitive because I understood that God had a call on my life. I didn't know what it would really take me to, but I embraced it with the utmost respect. And I did respect my elders enough to talk to them. So if they had told me, you know what, son, you're compromising, you're singing the devil's music and all that, I'd hear some of that stuff on the outside. But my inner circle did not say that. And it's interesting because there's something that I tell people all the time too, when folks come against you and different things happen. I learned in some of my darkest and difficult times when people had opinions about me or what have you, not even knowing who I was, you have to be like Jesus and say, who do men say I am?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked that question, what are they saying about me? Oh, that's what they're saying. Wow. And he listened, but he didn't entertain that. He went back and he said, well, who do you say I am? All you guys that are closest to me, like, do you know who I am? And do you understand my purpose? And his disciples were like, yep. Oh yeah. Well, we know you're the king, you're the son of God. And so then it was like, that's all that really mattered. So the people that I listened to were not all of the naysayers or the negative people out there who wish that they could do what I was doing, because sometimes people are jealous because they wish that they could have your platform, or they wish they could have peace doing what you're doing. But everything isn't for everybody.
Yes.
I don't really wish the R&B industry on anybody that comes from gospel. There were many times I grappled with singing R&B. I did, because I didn't always want it. It wasn't easier for me. I didn't come into the industry wanting to be a sex symbol and all this other, and have all the people love or hate me during my career expansion. You have to have a tough skin. But my aunt told me, she said, everybody's not going to like you. And when she told me that at first, I said, why? I was thinking to myself, why wouldn't everybody like me? I'm a nice guy. You think about all this stuff that's real, And she just said, just know that that's just the way the world is. Everybody's not going to like you. But she was a part of my inner circle. So I took that piece, I put it inside of me, and I didn't take myself so serious.
Yeah. Kenny, one of the things I want to say to you before I ask you this last question is simply, one is we're also inspired by you. I mean, what you're saying is so inspirational, but I love the fact how transparent you are. And I think people can find themselves. I hear you, and I see you, or what have you. And I'm of course I'm a celebrity counselor, and I'm doing the show. Do I want to stay married? And we deal with all these intricate topics. Sometimes usually tabooish. It's things that people go through every day, deal with, but maybe don't want to talk about out loud, or it doesn't get discussed. But everybody's impacted by it. Today's show is a little tighter and a little bit more sensitive because we're talking about infidelity or broken promises. My question is to you, though. So why I have you to chime in on this is that in globally and certainly in this country, why are people just in your thought and in your fortitude, why people are having inconsistencies when it comes to being committed, or why are they so unfaithful? So many promises are broken in people's relationships of being together. Why are they seeking outside of that?
I think they don't grow up with a Dr. J. They don't come up talking about this stuff. We watch television and listen to music. So it kind of circles me back to what I was saying about the lyric.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to Jasmine Sullivan's lyric, because she represents this generation right now, she it's called Hotels, and it's really her talking about her exploration of sex, her exploration of sexuality and sensuality, and she's talking about giving herself to many bodies and trying to figure out life and all that. There's some conversations that we're not having in our community early enough with our kids. We're uncomfortable. We don't want to say things. We don't want to expose who we are and what our failures have been or what our experiences have been. So as a result, we leave the next generation to have a hotel.
Yes.
And then they, they're just out there. So the infidelity and the exploration and all that is going to continue out of control because we haven't placed a certain type of value on it not being.
Yes. It's
in the movies, it's in the television shows. It's interesting to watch. It's like, whoa, oh my God, they just did what? Lord, it's the soap opera, that this reality TV, it's all of that stuff that we buy into that, that we have to check and say, do we want to be a part of that story, really?
This is so good. Look, first of all, Kenny, I can be confident that we're going to have you back. So that we can really expound now that we are very clear that you are 100% engaged. He has my mind going because I was thinking about the fact that when he talked about what his mom and his pastor gave him, I was thinking about it, and you were talking about all of laying out his accolades. We have children. And you're right. If you don't have something to present to say, hey, this is a model for you to look up to and for you to respect and for you to, to say, hey, young Black man, look at this person. It's easy to talk about the issues. Give them something and a person and people to point to, like you, Doc, where they're positive and you can be real and transparent, because we do hide our stuff and we don't tell them the truth. And so they're out there fending for themselves. Kenny, how do we find you? Tell our followers, because they're going crazy. How can people find you?
Please go to KennyLattimore.com. Everything encompassing at KennyLattimore.com. Interesting enough, my wife and I, Faith Jenkins, who you guys know as Judge Faith, are going to be doing something very special interactively soon. So if you go and just sign up for my VIP lounge, we're going to make an announcement that way. The whole public's going to know. We're going to announce on social media and all that. But we're going to be sending a special link to our VIP fans to just let you know about the virtual we're about to do. And it's called a celebration of love, an evening of love with Kenny and Faith. And everything encompassing there is at KennyLattimore.com. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Kenny, on behalf of KJLH Radio and Dr. J and this wonderful team, and Do I Want to Stay Married, we appreciate you, man. And I can tell you unequivocally, listen, when you guys are producing that the show, please let us know, because we are going to push it. We're rallying behind you. We are followers. We are fans. And I'm telling you, the night, sir, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the church doing, but I'm going to be bumping your music all the way home.
Well, this is going to be perfect, because, yes, please do that. I love that. And then, the timing of the live that we're going to be doing is during Valentine's weekend. So this would be a cool way to spend that weekend with you. So you can do it with us live, or you can do it on demand. But all the information is going to be coming soon.
I got you. We'll connect. God bless you, sir.
I appreciate that. God bless you. Thanks for having me.
Do you want to own your own restaurant but don't want to do it alone? Do you currently own a restaurant but you're struggling with keeping your doors open? United Franchise, the owners of the award-winning brands Sinorama, Transworld, Accurate Franchising, John Smith Subs with 1,600 locations in over 80 countries, has partnered with Celebrity Soul Food to open the fastest-growing Southern cuisine restaurant chain all around the world. New territories available in a city near you. We're now taking applications for franchise owners. Call now, 310-975-7131, or go to www.celebritiesoulfood.com. Call now, 310-975-7131, or go to www.celebritiesoulfood.com. Call now, 310-975-7131.
Bishop, Sheila, KD, lady, what have you. We're going to do something that may not be the most popular with some people, but for others, they're going to celebrate. What are the signs of a potential cheater? What are the things that people need to look out for? Spiritually, physically, psychologically? I don't know. But let's give some people some information. Now, what they choose to ignore, what they choose to not deal with or handle, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
But sometimes people are seeming so lost, or especially those that are single, it's hard for them to try to navigate relationships. Being that people are online now, dating and et cetera, they've invested so much time on things of that nature. I've known so many people have come into my counsel that a particular situation that I want to bring to light is that this couple had dated for months. Mm-hmm. And by the time they met, she was already vested in a relationship to find out that he was being scandalous. But she's in love with him now, in her mind. So it's like, do I stay? Do I stay put? Do I press through? He's not doing that no more now that we're together. Do I just forget all of that has been while we were not in person? It's a different dynamic now. So I'm going to start first. Bishop Dunny, I want to start with you, sir. What are some of the signs that you could say to, whether it was your daughter, your son, or whomever, these are the things you need to be mindful of as you date or as you are in marriages, what have you, the things to be concerned about? What would you share, sir?
Before I answer that, let me just say, Kenny made a very beautiful comparison when he said that people today don't realize the value of a Dr. J. See, when I was growing up, we had Dr. Phil. Now we have Dr. J. And so when he said that, it really resonated with me and made me feel really good that he, as a young man, can see the value of what you're doing in counseling today. To answer your question now, what are the signs that we see or should notice when someone is cheating and or going wrong? Spiritually, the only thing that will last in the Bible is the word. Nothing else is going to last, but the word of God is going to stand forever. Likewise, you can't tell a good woman by the way she looks. You cannot tell a good woman by just the things she does. You cannot tell a good woman by the possessions that she have, but you can tell one by the words that she speaks. You know, a woman, a man that speak himself, that's who they are. What you say is who you are. If you're a liar, you're going to say that. If you're a truth teller, you're going to say that. So I think the key thing, listen to what a person, take a moment and listen to what people say in a relationship, and that will tell you the entire story.
Aside from our instincts, and we have them, and they are always pretty much on point. But aside from that, you gotta be really careful when you are in a relationship and that person is just absolutely critical of everything, just picking you apart little by little, just everything. I mean, you can't say it right. You can't, you can't even clap right. You can't do anything. You can't even have a little piece of joy. And then Chris says, why are you so happy? Why are you so, and another thing is, in the lovemaking, let's just talk about that for a second. If the relationship has all of a sudden gotten hotter and steamier, I want to wonder if that's not your routine, what might be going on. If it's cooled off, you see a lot of on the couch sleeping, or not feeling well, or, there's some telltale signs in your relationship that you got to pay attention to.
One writer said on social media, and I do want to bring it up because we got flooded with social media texts, but I do want to bring it to honor my fan. It said that sometimes, how can I own something that I didn't know was happening? You know what I'm saying? And a particular woman asked this, listen, I agree with you, but how if I don't know what's going on, if I legitimately didn't know you was out there being scandalous like that, how can I be so responsible? So I want to chime in that on the second. But KD, go ahead, my friend. What's them signs in the street?
Have him or her grab the phone, pick up their telephone and see what happens, see their reaction. Or if the phone rings and he or she is near your phone, watch how they react. That's clear sign because you're nervous. You don't know who may be calling you. So why are you so nervous with your phone? Or you got a code on your phone and she can't have or he can't have your code, so to have access. Or you never where you say you're going to be. You leave the house, you say you're going here, your girlfriend or boyfriend probably saw you somewhere else. What you doing over there? But you say you're going here, all of them are clear signs. So, hey.
So what I heard is, is a partner, be that whether it's a significant other or it's your spouse in a marriage or outside of in a normal, just regular relationship, is really, first of all, start with knowing your partner, the patterns, things of that nature. One said, and I think this is where people feel like it's not invested enough, is the psychology of a cheater, is these behavior. There's patterns there. There's things that are consistently happening that's off that you're not recognizing, especially if you're in a serious relationship, particularly marriages, is what I want to really chime on in a second, is that when a person is not willing to do a large purchase with you, meaning they don't want to tie names together, you need to look at it. Unless there are real business reasons or some variables that you can really identify, great point, because you can deal with credit and all these other things. But if there's no reason and it's just genuinely they don't want to connect, always just never in agreement, things of that nature, why they don't want to go on with you or take this on? All I'm saying is a flag. It's not a guarantee. It's just something that you just might want to look at. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing the inconsistency. But this is a little hook I want to throw each of our followers that are online, that of our followers all around the world. Have you ever considered, to really understand the status of your significant other, have you considered how you are operating in a relationship yourself? Because I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 9, if a woman, but I'll give it the reverse, or a man is treating their spouse or their significant other in a way that the person feel like they're irrelevant, I don't know. Sometimes you got to pay attention to your own behavior. Because I'm going to tell you, you were sowing what you're sowing in the relationship. So don't be surprised by the fruit. I didn't say that give people a right to go cheat. It doesn't give them a right to be unfaithful. They have to own that. All I'm asking you to do is to things that you can examine to say, you know what? This might be a flag on the play, because I'm going to be honest with you. If you know that you are just cacking, just always fussing, and that man is like, I'm tired of it, and then all of a sudden one day he don't care how much you fuss no more.
That's a clue.
Hey, when a person become tolerable.
Well, you said something. You said you had a follower and they asked the question about how would they know? Yeah. I mean, and since they didn't know, how they're accountable. This is the reality. You're not. You guys, I'm going to ring this home. We are grown. And what I'm not going to see, when we were 20, and this is in our relationship, and you can say whatever you want to on here, when we were in our 20s, I didn't care if he had a code or whatever. And I would say to myself, well, I don't care because we trust each other. Let me
First
say
of
this.
all, we gonna first have our first fight on national TV.
Let's do it.
Hell, I ain't had no code. It's her
Would
birthday.
you please? It is.
Don't nobody break into my stuff now. You know what I'm
But
saying?
let me finish
I'm changing all codes now. Sorry, bitch, daddy, close your ears.
But let me finish my statement. But we didn't never had to go through that because
I'm just saying, put the disclaimer there.
But we came into this marriage saying we ain't gotta separate money.
Here, baby.
We ain't got. But I
You
know
get my phone,
everything.
huh?
I know your stuff more than you do.
I
You
know.
come to me asking me how to get in your bank account, your phone, your email, all that. My point is that when you're in a mature relationship, all that is out the darn door. You start putting some standards out there. Who the heck you married with? If you want my body and you want this booty, you better not have no code on your phone. See, that don't even add up to me. That you have an expectation. You want something from me, but you love me so much and you so into me, but I can't see your text messages.
But see, now that brings up another thing. We're gonna do another show on this because
we got all kind of part twos and threes.
Now, Bishop, I'm gonna come at you with this. This ain't a question for today, but I'm gonna throw it out there in the arsenal that we got to talk about it. Katie, you tell me if you're with me on this. Sheila, back up off you now. Is obligation. I mean, do you just feel obligated because we together that you have access? I mean, first of all, at what point should you have access? If we just dating, is it even your business?
Please find the camera.
If we're now married, first of all, where's the trust? That's the first thing. Number two, I'm gonna use one that Katie said. I ain't saying it's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is what the streets say.
I'm looking for all the cameramen. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras in the studio.
I'm saying, lady, I'm just saying. This
say
ain't me.
Something.
I'm just saying.
Everything about these 4 cameras saying I got access to it all.
Okay, children have access, but what I'm saying is, am I obligated? What I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is too much? Now, we want to talk about whether government or elsewhere, privacy laws and all this stuff. We got HIPAA for medical.
Ain't no HIPAA in our house.
All of a sudden, relationship is the only place everybody can just dig in all they want to, things of that nature. Am I assumed guilty if I don't let you? I ain't talking about it today, lady. We can't go into that right now.
All right, we got to go to the bishop.
Why you been so sensitive? We
got
to ask Bishop.
Sensitive.
Listen, Bishop, we got a question for you from the media. Huh?
I want my sisters, Daddy, we're getting ready to bring your question.
D said, sure, if we married, we obligated.
I know you right,
I'll lay this right here, KD, Bishop. Then I want obligated sex.
Well, I think that's fine. This is what I want to say. Y'all can put your touchdown up. We get ready to go to commercial because we've got to ask the bishop. But be very clear. I want women to become more confident and men to know what we're doing. And when we get into this thing called relationship, what that actually is. If it ain't a real relationship, just say, hey, we having sex. Mm-hmm. If we just hanging out, let's just call it that. When we come back, we'll ask the bishop. We'll be right back.
Ask the Bishop. The Bible says there is great reward in wise counsel. Do you have a question that you yourself can't find in the Word of God about your relationship? It's time to Ask the Bishop.
Bishop, here's your very direct question, okay? We had a lady that called in and she asked us literally, I need a direct answer. I want to get out of my marriage because he's cheated, and he has only cheated one time. We've gone to marriage counseling, and we have sat down, and he promises he won't do it again. But at the end of the day, I don't believe him. But I'm torn because he has repented, and the pastor told her that because he's repented and he's changed, that she should stay. She wants to know if she don't want to receive his apology and she don't want to let it go, or she just can't. Can she exit because he cheated on her and committed adultery?
Biblically, yes, she can. Under the biblical teachings of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, she can. I don't recommend that. This is what I'm saying. The problem is, if she forgave him, then forgive him. If you did not forgive him, you did not forgive him. So the problem is on her. If I stole something from you, I'm labeled a thief, whether I did it 1 time or 10 times. Mm-hmm. I'm a thief. If I don't admit to being a thief, then therefore you can't forgive me. So did he admit that he was wrong and he was a whoremonger?
Wow.
Then she had the choice to forgive him, because she don't. If she's a Christian, she cannot not forgive him. She must forgive him. But it's her choice. Whatever she chooses to do, It is her choice. And I say, yes, you're biblically right, but I don't recommend it.
That is good. You heard that straight from the bishop. Look
Bishop,
here.
the only one I know can say whore and it don't sound.
don't
I mean,
sound
all
right. You see
raunchy.
what
I mean, you know what I
happened?
mean.
I
It's not like you got hope.
When we come back, you will hear from the host of this show, Dr. J, the counselor, Do I Want to Stay Married, with his Relationship Uncensored.
Relationships Uncensored.
You need someone to be brutally honest with you.
Dr. J is getting ready to rip the Band-Aid off your relationship and deal with your wounds,
Your disappointments,
your thoughts.
and even your desire to just say quits with your relationship.
Stop lying to your kids.
Stop lying to your mate.
Stop lying to your church.
And more importantly, stop lying to yourself.
Dr. J says what he means.
But know this, he's Dr. J. Dr. J. So he means what he says.
It's that time for Relationships Uncensored.
Faith family, this is your boy Dr. J, and this is my Relationship Uncensored. I want to do something today to just be very, not only uncensored, but very transparent with you about if in fact that you find yourself in a unfaithful situation, meaning the damage has already occurred. However, either you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, you have chosen to say, you know what, we can fix this, we're going to stay on it, but you're having a little trouble, you're struggling. Well, you know, oftentimes in counseling, this is one of the things that I share. We first have to identify what's going on with you in your mind. It's interesting. As a partner, you cannot, in your little finite mind, just grasp the fact that your partner is having a sexual experience with another. As a matter of fact, it's such impactful into your mind, it plays like a loop video, a movie that won't go away. Well, two things that I can assure you, at some point it will fade. Oftentimes what happens that you never make it to the point that it will fade away. My second point to this is simply this. Whatever your mind is trying to tell you, show you, I can assure you, the infidelity, the cheating, it didn't even happen all like that. It ain't that deep. It wasn't a book signature. It wasn't a HBO moment. It wasn't deep. It wasn't just this porn star top 10 show or whatever you are imagining here. Your mind is selling you a lie. The pain is selling you a lie to keep you stuck. If you are going to remain, there's only one thing I suggest, that if you really want to deal with the issue, if you really want to get to it, it's not the movie, it's not the imagery. You're really trying to understand why. Why did this happen? How could this be? Is it me? Was I not enough? All these things, you're trying to undisclose why, but you're looking at all the wrong areas. So what I say to you in my transparent, my uncensored moment for you, woman, for you, man, is let's just get to it. Let's sit down with someone and really say, you know what? I can't move forward until I understand, seriously, the why. If you can get to that, and you can tap into your God of your faith to have forgiveness, I can assure you whatever image you have, whatever video is playing in your mind, it will soon fade away as you reconnect to the person that you ultimately really love, because that's why you're there. This is your boy, Dr. J. Listen, man, we've rolled tight on this show. We're over time. We got to go. But guess what? The sophisticated Sheila, the tribe have spoken. The streets have came with it. And Bishop, you've heard it from the mouth of God. And quite naturally, this queen, Lady J, let's be clear, I believe we have clarity today. I knew you was cheating. So this is your boy. Keep tuning in, like, share. Listen, man, follow us on social media, Dr. J, the counselor, Lady J, let's be clear. All of our co-hosts, man, we're rocking it out. Go out to kjlhradio.com, see all of our podcasts. It's national platform, man. We're so thankful to you, to all our fans, from our hearts and from this wonderful team. Be blessed and get everything that God has for you in this new year. Be blessed. We'll see you again.
Dr. J, counselor. Dr. J, counselor. Dr. J, counselor. Dr. J, counselor.